So one thing I get criticized for the most is that I don't do top-down analysis like everyone else does. So starting from the daily, then check the 4-hour, then the 15-minute, then the 5, then the 1 for entry, that stuff. I don't do this, but for me, the reason why is just because I want to keep things simple. I kind of find it unnecessary. It adds some complications I just don't need. So with the strategy I'm about to show you, I'm going to show you exactly how I trade just one time frame, one session, and pretty much one pair the entire time. And that's all I really need. So how did I come to this conclusion? From my experience in trading, I kind of started to realize that most of the time, my biggest problem was take profit. Not even the trade, not the setup, not the strategy, not even breaking rules, not psychology. It's more my trade will go how I want it to most of the time, but it doesn't always hit TP, or I don't leave when I should. That was the biggest problem of all. So it took me a while to crack down on this and find out exactly what is going wrong and the sweet spot of when to kind of leave a trade that makes the most sense. And this is generally because you get taught to go for 1 to 3 minimum. Otherwise, you know, there's almost no way you're going to be profitable. You hear this all the time, and many of us believe this when we are learning. I learned from YouTube and just consuming a ton of videos. So this is what you kind of hear over time. So trying to go for 1 to 3 every time is kind of like, all right, cool, you make 1%, you make 2%, but you still don't close. Some people say take partials, but that's just more stuff that you have to do. And when you take partials, you need to understand that your overall profit isn't going to be the same because you took off maybe half at 1 to 1, so the remaining half isn't total. But when you lose the whole percentage. So overall, over many trades, you might not even end up profitable anyway because you're not really making as much as you should. Anyway, that's a whole different topic for another day. But overall, it's just the idea that, okay, my trade went how it should, but I'm not always closing consistently. There's always too much decisions to make. I have to look at, okay, cool, can I hold longer? Just too many decisions, right? Too many decisions that I needed to cut down on. So that's when I simply decided to cut everything down, to simplifying it very much to where now I trade like a robot. One session, pretty much London session is what I trade most of the time. If I'm trading New York, then that's just kind of for the sake of it on a different account. So primarily I trade one session, one pair, and one time frame. That's all I really need to just go about this life forever. If I really needed to just pick one of each, I can and be perfectly fine. So now I'm going to show you a series of trades. Let's say we're going to just go through a week's worth of trade and show you exactly how I trade in such a way that I don't need to think much, I don't need to process much, I just see and I do, right? Literally, it's like an input and an output situation. Not much I need to think about, and that is it. In fact, I'll show you an exact trade that I took today, a few minutes ago. We'll start off with that one first. So this was a very simple trade I was looking at. This literally happened literally a few minutes ago, and I saw this trade whilst actually recording a video prior, right? It's so simple that I saw a trade, boom, all the switches went off, and I said, I'm taking this trade, because it just fit everything I needed to. Nice and simple. Didn't need to over analyze anything, and that's always the point I'm making. But I have a demand zone here. I trade supply and demand for those who don't know. This is a demand zone right here. I wanted the fair value gap to be filled. Simple. If you don't know what any of these terms mean, I've made several videos. Just go through the channel. I literally made a video on fair value gaps not too long ago, so watch that just so you know you have a full in-depth video that's going to explain these things, so this video isn't too long. This setup right here now, simple. It hit the zone, boom, right there. Now all I was looking for is a simple process. Right here we have broken highs, we've broken another high, and price simply came all the way back down to tap the zone. That's number one. Number two, where are the danger zones? What can cause my trade to not go how it should? And I can clearly see right here that there is a supply zone right here that can cause an issue. It's that simple. This is process number one. Think of like a computer. That's how my brain is kind of going through this right now. This is going to be the problem. All right, cool. Where is going to be my entry? My entry right now, I am looking for a break of candle. So I entered this trade right here. I just put my stop loss right below, play it super safe right there. And then I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to just go for a simple 1-to-1 because right now gold is super high, and that's just the case. And that's just what I kind of go for most of the time, especially when I'm trading on the 1 minute. This is the 1 minute time frame. It's that simple. I didn't need to kind of analyze anything else. It was just, all right, boom, I see this trade, I'm entering, I'm going for a 1-to-1, and I left it and carried on recording the video that I was recording anyway. So on this trade right here, you can see what happens. Price came all the way back down. Good thing I had my stop loss below. This is why I wasn't really worrying about too much. I didn't even need to look at this too much. And you can see eventually price decided to do his thing. Boom, boom, 2 candles was all we needed to go from negative profit to straight to TP. And what's interesting is how my exit was so perfect, because I have back tested this long enough to know most of the time this is going to be the case. You can literally see we got taken out at 1 hour, boom, and eventually the rest was history, bro. It just started to melt after that. Now what I'm getting at is this was a very simple trade. Exit was super simple. I didn't need to look at the 3 minute and then the 5 minute and then the 15, because by the time I was doing all of that, I would have missed the trade. Now this is just one trade example, but I'm going to show you how my second trade is going to look almost identical to this one, and then the next, and then the next. But I'm just going to go through another trade, right? This is Thursday right now. This is literally a trade I took today. I'm going to show you the previous trade. Now you can see another trade right here. This is still Thursday. This was the previous trade I took today on gold. Same thing. We have a break right here. We had a push. We had another push. Price came all the way back down to tap into the zone. The exact same thing like the last one. And I'm very transparent, so I'll show you how exactly this trade went, exactly what I did at the same time. Same thing, stop loss right here, entry was right here, and I thought to myself, what could be the issue that can stop this trade from winning? We have another supply right here that price could interact with and then cause problems. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to leave pretty much at 1-to-1 within this zone right here. My stop loss was literally right there, so 1-to-1 roughly here, right? Boom, that's what I'm looking for. Same process, very, very simple. On this trade now, you can see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. So you can see right here that we got stopped out. That's fair, no issues at all. But you can see what happens afterwards. Eventually, price goes exactly to my TP, literally precisely, because I knew this is where the danger zone is going to be. So I needed to just take my TP up there and leave after that, right? Boom, 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 boom. Price eventually melted. This is the second trade. But so far anyway, right? We're 1 for 1. I'm going to show you a few more trades and we're just going to go through it so you kind of get an idea of how I trade. So now this is the day before. This is another trade, right? This is just us just going through several trades literally within the space of a week. This is also the 1 minute, so we're going to find many setups. But day before, you can see the exact same thing. We broke this low, price came back to tap into the zone, and then my entry was going to be here, stop loss right here, and then guess what? The same thing again. What's going to be the issue? This is kind of just what my mind goes through. If there isn't a demand zone in this case, I'll show you what else I would think about. But for now, this is it. This is going to be an issue. Can I leave within the zone? I'm not going to get a 1R if I leave within this box, so it's kind of no point. So in this case, it's slightly more risky, but just for the sake of making a 1-to-1 at least, right? That's just all this is about. So right here, this is where my TP is basically roughly down here actually, because there's sort of liquidity down here. This was where I left that on this trade. Boom, 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 boom. TP hit, nice and sweet. Eventually, yes, you'll be thinking to yourself, I wish I held all the way down here or something, right? Many of us think about this every single time, but guess what? If I did it for this trade, then why didn't I do it for the other trade? I would have done that for the first trade I showed you guys, and that would have lost. And I backtested this and forward tested this long enough to just know how this works on the 1 minute. Yes, in this case, it went straight to a 1-to-3. In another case, what could possibly happen is it would go down, stop you up first, and then carry on. It doesn't always go as smooth as this is. But this is just another example of how it pretty much works, on how I keep it very simple. Like, you can wake me up in the middle of the night, one eye open, one eye closed, and I can just see it set up and take it like this because I've kept it very, very simple. Simplicity is key. Trading does not have to be complicated so you sound smart, so you sound like someone that just knows the market. It doesn't have to be. I don't know why that's the case. Keep trading simple, and then it's going to make your life a lot easier. So right now, overall, that trade I left at 1-to-1, I lost one and I won another one. So far we're up 1%. This is still Wednesday, another setup again. We broke this low again, price went back up to tap into the zone. I entered to the BOC, stop loss was right here on this trade, and then you can see in this case again, we just happen to have another demand zone. So I don't want to fight the demand zone, and I'm not sure if there's going to be an example where the demand zone does actually cause a headache, but in this case I'm leaving roughly here anyway, because you know, it's just the safest spot. Does price go there? I can't really remember. Yeah, so you know, we got a 1R, eventually price started kind of playing around, and that was it for this trade. So far we're up 2% so far, just by taking every setup pretty much that fits my rules, and so far we're up 2. We're gonna go back to the next trade now. Now this is another setup. You can see that everything's already marked up because I took these trades, right? These are the trades that I literally took. This is Wednesday again, price entered and my entry was right there. In this case, there is no supply zone that is gonna affect this trade, so I just left at the highest point to where price went to prior. That's it. Just because, why not keep it simple? Yes, it's nice to make a 1-to-65 RR like everyone wants to, but price went here previously and then retraced. So to me, this is the highest point that price has been to, that it is likely that price will go there again because it's been there before. It's just likely, unless price is done and doesn't want to push up no more, that's when it probably wouldn't. But price has been here before, so I'll go for the highest probability. I'm more of a probability guy in the sense that I want that probability to be high. I like win rate. RR is nice as well, but I like win rate because it helps my psychology. So you also have to establish, are you that guy that likes win rate, or are you the guy that likes winning most of the time? Because some of us want a 1-to-5 RR every time, but when you lose, your psychology goes out of the window and you start doing crazy things. So maybe that's not for you. You need to have a strategy that wins a bit more. Anyway, without turning this into a run, this is pretty much another trade. You can see my TP was there, and this even went way higher. Overall, could have made way more in this trade. That's fine. But overall, now we're up, what, 3%? And this is just taking my setups that I see in just 2 days. We're up 3. That's it, just by taking them. So overall, you can see the win rate is a lot higher, which is fine by me. So it's really that simple. I literally trade like, I mean, I said like an idiot because anyone can do this, right? It looks very simple. Of course, you might not understand the ins and outs and all that stuff. So if that is the case, then feel free to join the mentorship group. I can teach you there. I can show you exactly how it works. But overall, this is kind of trading like an idiot. Like, I can wake up at any time. I can be anywhere across the world. I can see my setup in 1 minute. Boom, boom, boom. I'm in and out. You feel me? Like, this is how trading should be. Very, very simple. But this is basically it. I don't really need to go through too much. I just wanted to show you guys exactly how you can keep trading simple. This is something that you guys should do. Definitely adapt your strategy to be like that if you need to, or you can learn exactly how I trade. I've made many videos for you guys to watch, or feel free to join the academy. Link will be in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.